things, because evidently there's been a whole little event going on between minority, squirrel, he said, she said type of thing. So I want to make sure that everybody gets a fair shake. Us being purchasers of it, we've been sitting in this waiting for these things to have some kind of operational use, and evidently some stuff's locked up in a potential IP situation, which that's a intellectual property issue. Because at the end of the day, like I told the folks in the Discord channel, I don't care if it's squirrel or if it's minority or what it is. As a consumer that purchases a piece of hardware that on a website says that it's going to do something, if I get it and it doesn't do that, folks need to figure out their stuff, right? So we should not have to deal with that. I'm going to call everybody out on it and say, I don't care whose business is what. You have product owners that have these products and they don't work. And that's no different than the Titan. And the whole reason why people have always asked me since 2013, hey, why don't you do ASICs and FPGAs? Because my experience since 2013 with them have been less than adequate. And this is par for the course, because it has nothing to do with somebody delivering a piece of hardware or somebody delivering a piece of software. If somebody wants to build something and say that they can do it, then freaking deliver it, right? And that from a consumer standpoint is where it's at. That's why with AMD and NVIDIA, I don't have to deal with these problems. There's a whole bunch of people that support software on a regular, their fees are baked in, which, you know, your minor fees on closed source stuff, and there's a lot of open source stuff out there and a lot of collaboration. I don't have to deal with that crap with GPUs, but I do have to deal with this, and I have to deal with people that just badger each other inside of a Discord because of he said, she said. That's a problem. Like, nobody wants to deal with that. I want to plug this piece of equipment in my hardware. I want to download said software. I will have to do some configuration, and there is considerations when it comes to hardware and configuration stuff. That's part of the fun stuff, but at least we have something as tangible that we can plug in and that can work. And that's the whole point. Tonight we're going to test what we can with these Acorns. We have 2 of them, and see if we can get them working on the algorithm that it does support right now and how to configure that. We'll go through the kind of minutia of doing that tonight. Some of you guys are my regular viewers are probably like, what the hell, bro? Like, what's all this heat coming from? It's coming from about a half-hour, 45-minute discussion, hour and a half. Miss BBT said hour and a half in Discord, where I was trying to just went into the FPGA Discord and was like, these have been set in a box. I haven't done much research on them, but a lot of people are asking me what's going on with the CLE 101, what's going on with the 215s. Hey, when are we going to get a chance to build these things? So what I wanted to do is make sure that we could do that. So I went out to the FPGA forums and said, you know, I've given everybody the benefit of the doubt. It's been X amount of months. I haven't dug into it. I've seen a lot of mud being thrown on both sides. What's the situation? And then I got a pretty much an eventful display of a lot of explaining of where things are at, and that there's just an open dispute, bottom line, between effectively software that was either owed or said that was going to be done, and then some gaps in engineering when it comes to like getting that together and then delivered. Now the gaps in engineering I think is on the software side with the GPU assist, and there might be some other kind of IP related issues with that. Again, to be continued, have to do some more research on it. At the end of the day, I understand relationships can get soured between people. You're culpable for people that are buying hardware. This is no different than the open case that happened against KNC Miner. I don't care what happened with KNC Miner. They delivered several good products, and then the Titan came out and they didn't deliver, right? And then as being a purchaser of that and spending $10,000 on that piece of equipment, people always ask, why am I so hard on FPGA? Really hard on ASICs, because there was so many ASICs I've gotten burned with throughout the years, right? So if you have something on your website and you claim it does something, and you're still selling that thing that claims that it does something and it just can't, even if you can be very mad, and you're sitting in Squirrel's situation right now, and then they're probably under NDAs and they're like, dude, the fucking hardware works. I know it works. I'm watching it work, but I can't tell you that it works. I have a minimally viable product, but I can't release it because I'm in an argument with this other group. That in dispute is screwing anybody and everybody that has these pieces of equipment, and we don't care about that, right? So that either has to be figured out, or like some kind of statement from both sides need to come out and say, hey, there's an active dispute. Companies do this sometimes. We don't agree. I mean, what, like not even 4 months ago, 2 months ago, like I went to watch Orville on TV, and Fox and Charter Communications had a dispute, and then it was blacked out. And I was like, dude, bro, I just want to watch Orville, right? And I had to go online and pay for it for another service that I'm already paying for. Shit happens and we get screwed as consumers. That's a thing. That has nothing to do with these two companies. But bottom line is that if the company's still selling the product, that's a problem. So, you know, it needs to be out there. It needs to be very focused to make sure that the consumers understand what's going on. I've literally found this out by going into a forum and actively participating and saying, hey, where's my stuff?